Welcome back to the show. For the second half of the show, we have cookies, and we're going to be talking about a company called Baking Memories for Kids. And I have the founder, the owner, Mr. Frank Squeo, is here to talk about this wonderful company doing great things across the country, not only New York State, but across the entire country. Welcome, Frank.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So, Baking Memories for Kids, we had an experience in our district, but tell us about your company and what you're doing.
Basically, what we do is we send children with life-threatening and terminal illnesses on all expense-paid trips to all of the Florida amusement parks, Disney World, SeaWorld, Universal. From the time they leave to the time they come back, it's all expense-paid. And these are families that are very, very deserving. The children are, in some cases, terminal, and they go right to the website. Somebody will nominate them, and then we take it from there. And we do this by selling our cookies one time a year, and that's how we raise our funds.
And this is a nonprofit. Obviously, you donate all the money back to these deserving families. What inspired you to start this company?
8 years ago, I was hiking out in Sedona and found a lump in my neck. And through 3 or 4 months of tests and needle biopsies and surgeries, they determined that it was advanced stage 3 testicular cancer. Went through a lot of chemo, and if it wasn't for a lot of miracles along the way, I would not be sitting here today. So I truly believe everything in life happens for a reason. And while I was doing my chemo, I was seeing the mothers and the children and sitting next to me doing it. And it really changes your life and changes your perspective on a lot of things, what's really important in life. So I always have a love for Disney World. I go 3 or 4 times a year myself personally. I make these cookies for my pool customers. I have a business downstate. And the whole thing came together that, you know what, instead of starting a foundation that always asks for money, I started this foundation to send children, and we sell cookies, and that's how we raise most of our money. You can donate on the website at any time, but 90% of our proceeds come from people buying these cookies and giving them as gifts. So I decided to start the foundation to send the families. When you're 46 and you have advanced stage cancer and you might not make it, it's one thing, but when it's your child and it's a 3 or 4 or 5-year-old that you're watching the end, basically, when we announce these trips to these families, to say it's life-changing is an understatement. They get to forget about all of the treatments and the cancer for a week and have a trip that they are the stars. They go to the front of every line. They stay at a special resort that is for children in wheelchairs and special needs children. It's an amazing trip that we get to offer them, and we do it by selling our cookies. And
these families are nominated, as you said, on your website. And you talked about people that are going through difficult times, and I'm sorry that you had to go through that difficult time as well. But we're happy to have you here on the show to talk about this this company that's doing great things. So people can nominate families that are deserving. People. It doesn't have to be the family. It can be someone that knows of a family.
Exactly. It could be your own child, or it could be. We have a lot of parents and friends that nominate a family. We'll get in touch with the person who nominated them, and then get in touch with the family. They fill out some paperwork as long as they qualify. Basically, we just count down the days till we do the surprise, where we come in on a fire truck, the children have no idea what's happening, and we announce it to the family that day. Obviously, the parents are in on the secret, but it is an amazing day. And then the kids get to count down the days, and it just leads up to just a great trip.
And you visited my district not too long ago, and I participated in, and we just showed some pictures of that event where we surprised the family, and I was there to see the reaction on the children's faces, and it was really hard. It was touching, and we appreciate you doing that for that.
Well, thank you for being there. It was great having you there with us, and I'm glad you got to share that, because as much as you can talk about it, when you're there and you get to see it, you saw it. On your, with your own eyes, and you can see how powerful it is for the family and the children. It's life-changing. So for us, we're an official 501c3, but when I tell people, we're like an old-fashioned type of foundation. There are no salaries in this organization. Everybody works for free, from myself to all of our volunteers that make the cookies.
And we talked about that. So you have a kitchen, and people volunteer their time to make these cookies, and they're sold only through the website?
Correct. Through the website for people who want to purchase them for themselves or give them as a gift. But then we have a lot of corporations that come to us and they use that as their holiday gift. We have corporations that order 1,200 containers, 600, 330, and then they give them out as gifts because it says something on the container. It talks about the foundation. So they're not only are they getting just delicious chocolate chip cookies, but it also talks about the foundation. And all of those proceeds go towards these trips. We sold 7,300 containers this past year. And we're able to fund a lot of families' trips with that money.
And and all the money that is for the purchase of the cookies goes towards these
Trips.
making these memories for these families. So if someone wanted to donate, best way to do it is on the website, you said. And let's give out that website.
It's Baking Memories, the number 4 kids @gmail.com is the email address. But if they just Google Baking Memories, the number 4 kids will pop up. They can make a donation. Come November 1st, they can order cookies. They can like us on Facebook as well, so they'll be notified when we start taking orders. And then they can follow the families. Like we have a family going next week, 2 families from Virginia going next week, and they can follow the story. They take the pictures we upload onto Facebook, so they get to follow because they made a donation. They're part of, we call them memory makers, anybody that donates or buys cookies. So they get to follow the families and walk in their shoes and see how powerful of a foundation this is.
So Frank, the families that are nominated, they're from across the entire country.
Correct.
And you get them through the website, and they're at some point collected. And these trips take place throughout the year.
Correct. We do most of our announcements in November and December because that's when we're doing most of our fundraising. But for instance, I'm flying to Louisiana in a couple of weeks because there's a child there that can't wait. Certain children cannot wait because of their situation, whether they're very terminal, so they need to go right away. So I'll fly out, we'll do the announcement, and they'll go on a plane literally the week later and go on the trip. But we announce all year long families.
And what's great about this is, like you did in my district, you're there to announce the news yourself personally. Yep. You show up at the event, you're talking to the kids, you're talking to the family yourself. Yeah,
this is a very powerful. This is my baby. I've had successful businesses, but this is personally my baby. I did the chemo. I walked in the shoes of what other people have walked in, and I know what it's like. Yeah. And I don't know what it's like to have a child who has an illness like that. So for me, it's very personal. I love making that presentation. It's a lot of crying going on because it's personal for me. Yeah. It's very emotional. You saw how emotional it was. Everybody's crying. Yeah. The producer of the Today Show was interviewing me and he's crying. So it's very, this is not a good foundation. This is a great foundation. Of course, I'm biased, but this is the way foundations, everybody wants to envision what a foundation is. This is the real deal. And instead of asking for money, we sell cookies. And the cookies, you'll taste them. They're delicious.
And we saw you are making national news, and the Today Show did come out to cover that event in Schenectady County. Yes. And it's fantastic. Your people are taking note of what you're doing here, and hopefully it's encouraging others to do the same, because I think giving back and changing people's lives is what you're doing.
Yes, thank you.
And we certainly appreciate you taking the interest initiatives to do this. Baking Memories for Kids, bakingmemoriesforkids.org is where you can nominate a family. And how often do you get nominations? Do they come in pretty much consistently, or are you getting more?
We get them from time to time. The day that the Today Show aired, we received 30 new family nominations in one day.
Oh, that's great.
And that's normally what we would get in an entire year.
Yeah.
So we're going through that. We have families in Utah, Oklahoma, Louisiana, literally all over the country that will be going in the next 12 months. So we're so excited to be able to send all those families. But we get nominations all the time, and then we're on top of it immediately. We're in touch with them that same day, and then as quickly as we can send them, we send the families down.
That's wonderful. And you said the families send pictures back. Do you follow up with the families? Do you kind of keep up with how they're doing? Correct, and how everything's going?
These are like my kids when it's all said and done. Once they're in the fold, they're in the fold. Amy Caniff, just a super woman, has gone through a lot. In addition to having her son having spinal muscular atrophy level 2, she lost her childhood sweetheart husband tragically on the thruway, and she and all of my families will always be, on the holidays I get in touch with them, usually the birthdays I try to call the children, and we'll do events together outside of the trip to Disney and Universal. Little girl that we sent, first little girl was 2 years old. She was only supposed to live to see 2. We rushed her down. Her birthday was 2 weeks ago. I called the family. She's 4. She's outlived her life expectancy by 2 years, which is amazing. So I do stay in touch. They are more than just families that we send. They've become part of my family.
And you build that bond, that relationship, and Amy, the Kniff family is going down actually soon, right? They're going
down in March. I'll actually be there a couple of days. I have a trip of my own, so we're going to meet up and have a great lunch together with the boys. Her parents are going with her. They'll be there for a whole week. They go to Disney World, SeaWorld, Universal. They stay at a beautiful resort right outside of the parks. They're so excited to go.
If people want to follow that, see those pictures as they're going through their experience, they can find those online. They'll be posted.
We put everything on Facebook immediately when the families send us. They'll send us blurbs, they'll send us pictures, they'll send us videos. Everything goes onto our Facebook site. So we encourage people to follow it because it's exciting, because it's a feel-good story. If you're having a bad day and you want to feel good about yourself and you've donated, or even if you haven't donated, you want to follow a family like that, it really makes you feel great to see them having a great time.
Yeah, this is absolutely wonderful. And obviously you have relationships with the parks down in Florida, so they work with you on when the family's going to go.
They give us all the park passes pretty much.
Well, I encourage you to visit Baking Memories for Kids, kids.org. We will be following the Kniff family as they go down to experience their wonderful vacation. And Frank, I thank you for making it happen. I was there when you delivered the news, and the look on the boys, on the kids' faces was just absolutely wonderful. I appreciate you participating in making families go have such a great experience through these wonderful cookies.
My pleasure.
And you can buy the cookies online, and if you want to make a donation or be a part of this program, visit the website. Frank, thank you so much for being on the show.
Pleasure.
Thank you for everything you're doing.
Thank you for having me.
Join us again here on Assembly Update. We'll talk more about great companies like Baking Memories for Kids really changing people's lives across the entire country. So that's great.
Thank you for having me.